Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have a new and special guest with us, Alan Lambert. Alan is chairman of Cyprium Mining Corporation, which can be traded as CUG on the TSX Venture. Thanks, Alan, for being here with us today.
Good afternoon, Jeb. Thank you for having me.
Alan, give us an introduction into Cyprium mining and the unique business model that you have in the junior mining space.
Yes, Jeb. As you just mentioned, Cyprium Mining Corp is a Canadian company that's listed on the TSX Venture Exchange. However, all of our mining operations are in northern Mexico. And the reason that we favor northern Mexico is that our management team, headed by André Saint-Michel, who's a 30-year veteran of the industry, they reside in northern Mexico, namely in Chihuahua State, in Chihuahua City, actually. And the reason that they're there and that we focus on that part of Mexico is that the geology in that area, literally from all the way from Tucson, Arizona, going down to the state of Durango, is quite favorable for the type of projects that we look after. And that means projects that have two distinct characteristics. The one is we need to be able to put a project into production in the short term. And for us, short term is 12 to 18 months from the time we acquire it. And secondly is have real upside, so significant projects, very, very large project. And the reason that we want to go into production right away is that we believe that the mine, the production, the cash flow from the mine should pay for most of the exploration costs and not dilution from the shareholders.
And Alan, you're drilling right now on the property, is that correct?
That is correct, Jeb. We in 2013 we acquired an old silver copper mine called Las Cristinas, which is about 200 kilometers just outside the town of Chihuahua, and we started our 3-phase drilling program about a week ago, and it's a 4,000 meter program. And the first phase is just about 1,100 meters, and since our project is at surface or near surface, you're talking about 8 or 9 holes here for phase 1. And I was talking to our CEO this morning, and I think we've got 6 or 7 of these drilling holes completed, and we are keeping on with our drilling program.
Alan, talk to us why management is pretty confident that your Las Cristinas project could make it to production.
Yes, there are 2 reasons. One is management, and one is the geology. So management, as I said, is led by André Saint-Michel, who's our president and chief executive officer. André has been in the industry for 30 years. He's put 3 mines into production, and that's going to be his 4th significant project. And André moved to Mexico about 15 years ago. He's been a full-time resident of Chihuahua City, and for the last 10 years. And at his last mine that he put in production, the Bolivar mine in Mexico, he went from nothing to annual cash flows of over $10 million a year, selling concentrates, and he was able to recruit some of his senior guys from that mine to come and join him and us at Cyprium. So we're confident that these guys who are in their mid-50s and early 60s, who have operated mines before, have actually found mines and put them into production, they're all reunited at Cyprium. So that gives us a great comfort that they'll be able to do it again. The other reason, as I mentioned, the geology is because we're dealing here with a mine that was already in production in the 70s, mind you, small production, but still there are drifts at it, all sorts of tunnels, so there's good access. Most of the mineralization is at surface, easy to see, and so it's from a pure technical standpoint, it's not a very complicated mineralized structure.
Alan, you talked about the management being such a crucial role in this company. Can you talk a little bit about the management and insider ownership? Do you guys have skin in the game as well?
Well, I'm glad that you asked the question, Jeb. Andre and I like to say we're not old, but we're old-fashioned. And Andre and I have participated in every single financing of the company to date, when it was private, when we took it public, and then after. And as our public records of insider trading will attest, we've been buyers also in the market on a regular basis. And so that has allowed Andre and I, and all of our directors are also shareholders, mind you, small shareholders, but it's allowed Andre and I to own at this stage of development still 16% of the company, and it's our intent to participate in future financings to the extent that we can.
And the share structure is still very tight with only around 35 million shares outstanding. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's to be precise, Jeb, it'd be 32.9. So let's call it 33 million, and we're trading at about 17 cents, so $5 million market cap, and we also have two institutions that collectively own 7 million shares, and so that's a good percentage on a percentage basis. That's a good participation for institutions at this early stage in our development.
So if the drilling is successful this summer, could you tell us about some of the milestones that you guys hope to accomplish in the rest of 2014?
Yes, so our number one milestone for this year is to start a 200-ton per day flotation plant and start treating minerals from the Las Cristinas. I'd like to add that when we acquired the project last year, we also acquired a processing facility in a small town called CUG.V, which is about 90 minutes from the mine. That processing facility does not have all of the equipment that's needed to go into production, but it has some good basic structures, buildings, crushers, tanks, concentrators, filters. It's got electricity, water, and so on and so forth. So it's a very, very strong base to build from, and so our key milestone is to obtain the permits before the end of the year to start production, and obtain the permit for the plant to start producing at the plant.
Alan, as we can conclude, could you give us just the highlights of what differentiates Cyprium mining from so many junior companies that are out there?
Yes, I would say I'll try to make a long list very short, but I have to go back to management, and the two things that are important here about management is their experience, and I went through that early on in the interview. The second thing is their location. As I said, they live in Chihuahua City. I know there are some great management teams of junior companies out there that favor running public companies and mining companies from Montreal, Toronto, or Vancouver. And we don't subscribe to that approach. We subscribe to the approach that our senior managers have to be able to go to the project in one day and come back and sleep in their own bed at night. And if we can achieve that, it means two things. We're going to have good supervision by senior officers of the company, and it also means that the project is going to be close to a major mining center, which is the case in Chihuahua. So if anything breaks down at Las Cristinas or at the CUG.V processing plant, it's a 2-hour drive on national roads back to Chihuahua, which is a major mining center in northern Mexico, where you can get parts, you can get equipment fixed, and so that's and that's very, very, very important to keep the cost down. The other thing is that we have this association in our business plan of going like all of our peers for the possibility of a big find. So we don't want to be a small producer. We want to be a big mining company. We just go about differently, go about the financing of the development differently, which is make a decision to produce very early on and use some of these cash flows from production to develop the mine, because although we will have to go back to shareholders in the early part of our development, we hope that at some point, not only we're going to minimize the dilution, but hopefully we'll get to the stage one day in our corporate life where we'll be returning money to the shareholders.
Alan Lambert, chairman of Cyprium Mining, which can be traded as CUG on the TSX Venture. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much, Jeb.